It is said that, when a furniture goes through 100 years, it changes and acquires a soul. One night in a heavy rainstorm, a man wanders through a dark forest with a heavy-looking case on his back. He pauses for a moment to look up at the sky, and suddenly a burst of wind strikes his straw hat off his head. The hat gets blown to an abandoned-looking temple, and he makes his way there to get his hat back. As he opens the damaged doors, he walks in and asks for permission to stay here for the night, even though no one is there to hear him. He closes the doors and sits down on the floor to catch his breath. All of a sudden, the littered room starts to change its appearance. It becomes a lot brighter and is free of all the trash inside now. The man looks around all confused and asks himself what is going on right now. He even pinches his cheek to see if he is dreaming. But suddenly he feels a strange presence coming from the room. As he mentally prepares for the worst, a lot of broken umbrellas cover the room. The umbrellas have eyes and seem like to have come back to life. Suddenly a little frog-like umbrella creature appears and starts singing. It sings about broken furniture and how useless it is. The man looks for a second at the creature and then totally ignores it, while looking at the big umbrellas. He looks at the umbrellas and says that these are some fine pieces, while admiring them. The man grabs an umbrella and opens up his heavy case. It's full of sewing and crafting equipment. He starts repairing the umbrella and bring it back to its old beauty. But he doesn't stop after the first one and keeps going until all the umbrellas are like new again. After repairing the last umbrella, he also fixes the umbrella of the frog creature. It becomes so happy that it dances for the man. After the dance, it makes its way home. The frog walks away with its new umbrella and fades away like a ghost. The man notices that all the umbrellas disappeared, leaving only an empty room again. He makes his way inside the next room, but as he walks in, the door closes behind him by itself. Suddenly a wind of fabric bursts through the room and a woman is heard laughing. It's as if the painting of the woman is talking to him. The ghostly voice asks the man if she is pretty, and how everyone always used to say that she was beautiful. The voice tells him that the taste of people changes at any moment. And what is out of fashion gets thrown in the trash, to never be used again. Suddenly the painting starts to move and looks directly at the man, while asking again if she is pretty. The fabric starts swarming the man as if it is alive. But he doesn't care about the dangers of ghosts and rather grabs some cloth to inspect it. He admires the soft feel of the fabric even though it's a little worn out. Straight away he starts sewing the fabric into rolls, with his beloved sewing equipment. As he finishes sewing the last piece of cloth, he proudly looks at his good work. But the pride doesn't last for long, as the cloth he sewed suddenly starts to disappear in his hands. He looks around all confused and notices the painting of the woman looking at him. He starts talking to the painting like every normal person would. The man explains that he got lost in the rainstorm, and asks the painting if it will let him leave soon. Understandably the painting doesn't answer, because it's a painting. The man doesn't know what to do, so he forcefully opens the door on which the painting is on. As he manages to pry the door open, he sees his mistake. The next room is filled with a mountain of trash, and it's rapidly moving towards him. He gets flooded with a massive trash wave of thrown away stuff. But he manages to not get injured. He climbs to the top of the trash mountain and notices a weird scent. He smells his armpits to check if he showered today, but the smell is not coming from his body. The room suddenly begins to quake and the trash moves by itself. The trash moves to gather in one spot and voices of laughter can be heard from it. All of the garbage starts to form a big, creepy monster. The monster lets out a big roar, while at the same time farting at the man's face. The man comments that he never smelled anything like that, and the monster screams while looking at him, with its big, lifeless eyes. He withstands the waves of nasty smell thrown at him by the big monster. The monster seems to get more aggressive and directly charges him. But the man looks calm and ready. He puts his case on the floor and puts his hands together. At the last moment, before the monster has contact with him, he thanks all the trash for once bringing a lot of joy to people. The monster flies through the man without harming him and disappears for good. The man opens his eyes and notices that it's bright outside. He walks outside and looks around the forest. As he looks at the floor, he sees an umbrella, his straw hat, and a piece of clothing. The man looks back inside and only sees some old stuff and a mask resembling the trash monster. It's almost as if all of it was just a bad dream. The man keeps going on his journey, with the pieces of old trash that he repaired, which are being used once more. A beast can be heard roaring angrily. Men and their horses are getting killed by this beast. The monster created a battlefield and massacred all which dared to threaten it. A man, on death's door, crawls up to the giant bear and asks if it understands the human language. The man asks the bear to kill him quickly, but the beast just stares at him and turns its back on the man. As the bear leaves, it notices something falling from the sky. It watches with fear in its eyes, as the object slams into the ground. In another place, women are trying to patch up an evil-looking red ogre. Two older men are outside, arguing about the orders they got to look after this monster. One of them argues that they shouldn't have to look after an ogre, but the older man says that orders must be followed. Suddenly they hear screaming inside, and blood splashing to the walls. The monster woke up from its deep sleep and wants to cuddle with the women. He grabs one of the girls by her head and throws her around like a baseball. The remaining girl just watches her life coming to an end, as the monster stomps towards her. The survivor from the beginning is in a sickbay, trying to recover from the injuries he got while fighting the bear. An old man asks the surviving samurai if he could kill a demon to help the town. The samurai investigates if the demon is in the shape of a bear, but the old man says that it's red and looks like a monster. The old man begs for his help, as the demon comes into town every night to kidnap girls and destroy everything. The demon kidnapped so many girls that only one is left in the entire town. The girl overhears their conversation and says that her death is inevitable, as no one can match the demon. The old man scolds her for giving up hope already, but the girl doesn't want to hear it. She runs away into a forest while crying, and lies down in a field of red flowers, near a river. She tries to be at peace with herself, but she gets angry out of hopelessness and destroys the flower in her hand. Suddenly she hears something in the river. It's the white bear, catching fish, as it notices the girl watching it. The bear starts to slowly walk towards the girl. She crawls back, but then realizes her situation. Closing her eyes and accepting her fate, but the bear just stares at her, like a cute, mass-murdering teddy bear. The girl is stunned for a moment, but then she asks the bear to help kill the demon, which is after the girl. The bear growls quietly and licks the girl's face, as if it is trying to communicate with her. She pets it and they form a bond, without noticing that the samurai was watching them the whole time. The bear leaves her and walks into the forest, as the girl shouts for it to be careful. It walks for a while, when it arrives in a barren landscape. In the middle of the field lies a spaceship-type construct, that seems to have been the object falling from the sky. The bear climbs inside the construct and sees a woman tied to the wall. She begs the bear to kill her as she is having immense pain. It looks like the demon kidnaps the women to grow demon babies inside the woman's uterus. She begs the bear once again to kill her, as the demon babies won't get born if she dies. The bear charges at the big construct in the middle of the room, and hits it until it breaks off and falls down. It manages to run outside before the construct explodes from the inside, killing the screaming woman, but also the demon babies. The bear looks at the explosion, without noticing that the big demon is returning from a hunt. The demon gets furious and charges at the bear. It manages to hold the bear in a chokehold, but the bear slices the demon's face with its long claws. The demon doesn't play around and punches the bear repeatedly, until it's hurt enough to be strangled. It seems like the bear is at death's door as the samurai suddenly appears to aid it in the fight. He puts a spear in the demon's back and slashes its back a couple of times. The girl suddenly thinks that she is strong enough to fight the demon and comes out of her hiding place. She starts praying in front of the monster, as it crawls towards her. The bear joins the fight again and punches the monster. They fight on the ground for a while as the demon gets the upper hand. The monster seriously injures the bear by damaging its neck, as it suddenly gets shot at by a group of soldiers. They attack the demon with guns, bows, and a number of spears. As the demon gets distracted by the soldiers, the bear grabs it from behind and slowly, with all of its strength left, crushes the demon to death. The demon is finally defeated. The bear looks at the lifeless monster, as it also drops dead, succumbing to its many injuries. A group of soldiers are driving through a desert while talking about what they will do, as soon as they return back home after their mission. Their goal is to look for different types of materials, like rockets and different kinds of weapons. They get ready for their next mission in a destroyed city, by putting on their cool-looking suits that protect them from dangers. The men walk towards a collapsed tunnel, when one of the soldiers suddenly steps on a landmine. They just tell the soldier called Male to be more careful. Apparently the suit withstands even big explosions. Suddenly the navigator in the car tells them that he found a heat signature with his drone. The men know that this can only be an enemy, so they take out their weapons and get ready for a fight. They swarm out to different positions in the destroyed city. Meanwhile, Male runs to the rooftop of an old building. He throws missiles with wings out, that stay in the air for a while to secure the place. The soldier named Jin fixes missiles to the balcony, in case anything gets by there. And the soldier with the name Ram has found a good sniping spot atop a roof. Just at that moment the navigator tells the commander that he found the enemy. It's a gunk. A gunk is a highly efficient, self-supportive tank, in short, a killing machine. The commander orders for the drone, which is flying overhead the enemy, to drop all of its explosives on the gunk. But the gunk doesn't even get a single scratch from the bombing. It went wrong. At the same time, Mail repositions himself in a corner and waits for the gunk to appear. As the machine appears into sight, Mail targets it with a laser but gets shot at almost instantly. He runs away to get out of the danger zone, and tells everybody that the missiles can be used now, because he marked the enemy with the laser. Mail launches the first and second missile, but as he counts down the time for the impact, the gunk shoots the missiles down. After aiming for a while, Ram fires his sniper rifle at the gunk, but the machine doesn't seem to get damaged. It fires many rounds at Ram and he is forced to run away under constant fire. Ram drops down on a roof, but due to its poor condition, it crumbles under Ram's feet. He falls down a couple of meters through the air. However, Ram manages to catch onto a steel bar and regains balance. Ram jumps to the floor, and as he feels safe for a moment, the gunk fires at him, injuring him badly. The commander reacts quickly and him and Jin fire constantly at gunk, so that Mail can save Ram. As they both run to safety, the commander orders everybody to launch the unfired missiles at the same time. This way, the gunk can't shoot every missile down and will certainly get hit by a couple missiles. They launch all the missiles at the same time, while the drone that they have flying over the gunk also fires with full force. As Ram gets pulled to safety by Mail, he fires a sniper shot at the gunk to distract it, and most of the missiles hit its target. Ram and Mail jump inside a ditch before the machine can shoot them. And Jin observes the huge dust cloud the bombings caused. As the dust settles, the soldiers notice that they successfully destroyed the gunk and breathe a sigh of relief. Now the men can go back to the actual goal of the mission, finding a special type of warhead. After a while, the men reach a collapsed subway and Mail finds the truck where the warhead is supposed to be. The commander orders for the team at the surface to create a log, but they don't answer. He has a bad feeling about it and orders everybody to go up immediately. As they turn around, a blast hits Ram out of nowhere. It's another gunk tank. The joints in Ram's suit don't work anymore, causing him to be fully immobilized. Mail runs up to Ram, so he can save him once more, but as he gets closer, the gunk shoots Ram directly, evaporating him instantly. The commander orders Mail to activate the warhead. If it explodes inside a subway like this, it won't cause as much damage as when the warhead got into the wrong hands. Jin throws an electric grenade at the gunk, which causes it to be down for a couple of seconds. Meanwhile, Mail runs to the warhead and tries to activate it straight away. Jin notices that Mail doesn't have enough time to launch the warhead and to get out of the danger zone, so he jumps on the gunk and shoots it directly in the eye. Mail manages to activate the launch protocol, which causes the warhead to be shot inside the tunnel. The gunk reawakens again and Jin and the machine blast each other, causing Jin to go out, but in an epic way. At the same time, the warhead causes massive damage inside the tunnel, flying against the roof of the tunnel before leaving a massive explosion. Mail is lying on the floor after the explosion, with his suit completely damaged. The commander helps him up and tells Mail to use the escape command to get out of the broken suit. Mail uses the command and gets thrown out of the suit, leaving him in his ordinary clothes. It seems like the commander and Mail are the only ones left after this mission. Suddenly the badly damaged gunk appears out of the tunnel and grabs the commander's head with its mechanical arm. The gunk shoots the commander directly through the head, causing his lifeless body to drop to the floor. The arm of the gunk looks straight at Mail but suddenly shoots Mail's suit instead of him. It doesn't recognize Mail as an enemy without the suit but rather as a harmless civilian. The machine says that all soldiers have been eliminated and that only a civilian is left, so it turns off its destroy mode. Mail gets angry and uses a rock to hit the gunk, but it scans him once more and defines his presence as unimportant. Mail keeps hitting the machine when it suddenly reaches out with its arm and burns all of the clothes on Mail, as a way of decontamination. The machine gives the now fully nude Mail a pamphlet for civilians and walks away slowly. Mail now hopelessly fights the machine with whatever he can grab, like a piece of metal and a handful of cheeks. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.